All right, guys. Today we're gonna be reacting to the highway. Hold up, highways where trucks were like electric trains. Interesting. I know there's some cities that they have these electric semi-train buses. You see what I'm saying? That they're connected to the top, like they have like rails and electric cables. All right. I don't know if this is all about that, right? But we're gonna see. Uh, Germany is a very interesting country because there's so many things in a small country that you sometimes believe are not true, but they are. Let's jump in. Let's see what's going on.
Phased out and batteries become better and cheaper. Electric trucks are slowly starting to become a thing, but the trouble is you need a massive battery in each truck, plus the infrastructure to charge them all. It'd be great if you could somehow charge up electric trucks while they're on the move. Well, the world already has a proven, tested solution for sending power to
My bad, folks. I have to make sure it's down.
Trains have pulled power from overhead wires for more than a century.
There we go.
So why not put those wires over the first lane of a highway and let trucks connect to it while they're on the move?
So let me check. I was gonna mention something, guys. Let me know in the comment section below if the sound is good. Okay. Let me know in the comment section below. All right. Okay.
So it's been running for 21 months now, and
Yep,
it will
that's
be
what
at
I
least
thought.
for the next year. A full-scale scenario for Germany would be to equip 1/3 of the German highway network, and that could reduce 2/3 of the greenhouse gas emissions by heavy trucks. But for sure, there are pros and cons in the real world, and we want to be sure before we are going into the future with such a system. There were a lot of safety concerns in the beginning, so we had to discuss everything with fire brigade and police and so on. We have the voltage
Makes
level
sense,
of
right?
a tram, and the electromagnetic fields are lower than on a tram.
Oh,
so
I see how
isn't
that
an
works.
issue. Overtaking is absolutely no problem. You just set the indicator or leave the lane, and the pantograph will automatically drop down immediately, and then you're free to go. So in that part, a battery or the combustion engine will take over, and you will have the full power without interruption.
One of the things that's really obvious sitting here is that the technology works. Like, we're running off grid power now, and it's really, really quiet in here.
I was
There are
gonna
two
say
main
that,
uses
right?
for
It
big
seems
trucks.
like this kind of technology, like the moving of the truck is gonna be so silent that it's not a bad idea. I think this is good. I mean, it just looked like very expensive.
Like this. One is last mile delivery, picking up lots of items from warehouses and taking them out to individual shops. Most of that is going to be away from the trunk road network, so ehighway
Well,
wouldn't
wow,
work for that.
so complicated,
But those
right?
trucks tend to take shorter journeys anyway, and they're sitting idle at night, so those could charge at the depot. The other use for big trucks is taking containers from ports to warehouses, or from one depot to another. Almost all of that traffic goes along big trunk roads like this, and that could all be converted to run straight from the grid, with batteries taking a couple of miles to each end. Roll that out, and suddenly you're replacing a lot of diesel.
What you're doing is bringing
Good
the
point.
electrons to the vehicle in a cable rather than trying to carry them in a box in a battery.
Yeah.
It's the most efficient solution, the most efficient use of energy. We think that it's possible for the system to pay for itself. It's possible to set
When it means pay it for itself, it's just creating energy, I guess. Like, so it creates energy, and it just. The question is, does it need fuel, or it doesn't need fuel? If it doesn't need fuel, it's all electric, right? How do you pay yourself with electricity? So you creating more electricity, so you sell it. I'm just.
an electricity price sufficiently cheap for the truck operator that the lower costs will pay for the additional costs of the lorry in about a year and a half, something like that. And
But
we
that's not
think
bad.
that it's possible to use some of the money that comes back from electricity sales to pay the infrastructure provider in a way which will make that an investment that's fundable by private finance. And we think there is enough money left on top of that to pay a tax to the government to replace fuel tax. Where you've got real difficulties is some of these journeys
Okay,
into
there we go.
really remote parts of the country. And there's a strong case for saying, look, in some of those journeys, let's have a hybrid vehicle. But the majority of the system works very well on very efficient
Yeah, that's a good point.
electricity, and you can do it quickly. So I think
you're
that's
living in the
that's
middle of nowhere, man. In Germany, I don't see. Maybe in the future, you can do this type of technology. But in the meantime, it makes sense just to send like a hybrid vehicle that can take care of some of that load.
an attractive thing to do if you can.
We've had more than a century to develop delivery infrastructure that's based around combusting fossil fuels, and that's going to end in the next couple of decades. Britain is planning to ban the sale of new petrol and diesel trucks by 2040, which sounds like the far future, but it's actually only 18 years away. The rest of Europe won't be far behind, and building those wires above enough roads could take up most of that time if that's the solution that's chosen. So right now, we know the basic technology does work. That's what's been tested here. But a lot of things that technically work can't be built economically. If we want to keep to that date, then the UK has somewhere around 3 to 5 years to figure out if this is just a gimmick or whether it's worth investing the billions that it'll take to roll this out. Personally, I try not to give predictions about the future, but I wouldn't be too surprised if those wires become part of everyday life on the road in the next couple of decades.
Well, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, this is very interesting, and the fact that there's, some folks here are already just starting to use this type of technology, right? And it's true, like probably Germany, that they have that already in mind. They're trying to just be very efficient in their energy. That is, and I think, of course, there's some argument to be made with, you're already in the city. You're already in the city. I mean, the roads, are kind of pretty straightforward. Can we make it more efficient? I think this is a great approach to this. Now, we have to think about the possibilities of expanding this to outside on the outskirts of those remote positions. However, is it practical, though, to those remote positions? That's the question. Is it practical? Can you build this in a mountain? Can you building saying it can be done, but is it efficient? It does. If you live in the middle of nowhere, you know what I'm saying, like 200 miles, south or west from the city, in middle of nowhere, there's only five, houses, one warehouse, and with the warehouse, it's just like 2 hours away from each place. The question is it efficient? What I think is, in that case, you will create what the guy said is a hybrid technology, meaning like you might just need a little bit of gas to pump. You might need a little gas. Now, something else is, what if that technology all of a sudden fail in one day? That means that you're gonna just affect the entire line of that those trucks. So that means they wouldn't be able to deliver. So what will you do that then? Well, you cannot go back diesel because it's banned. So what will happen there? And let's see all of a sudden these lines stop working, because we have to think about that. If they start working, and the argument cannot be, they haven't stopped working. They're always working. Well, hold on, folks. Not everything works 100%. There's a possibility of. All right, there's a possibility of. Now, if there's a plan B and C, saying like, oh, it doesn't matter if they go down, our batteries can be used for the next week or 2 weeks. Okay, I can see that, because that will probably give enough opportunity or enough time to fix what's being broken so they can go back to work. So we have to think about those things. But the technology, I like it. I like the idea. It does produce new incentives to just create new energy and also a clean environment. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. In the meantime, I will see you in the next one.